Well, hello, FME friends. It's time for me to look at round 2 of the 12 Days of FME and to give you the answers. Let's jump straight into the challenge this time. The challenge is that, well, in the first round we arrived in Sao Paulo. Now we're moving on from there. And the only real difference is that the Lizard and Zipster have decided to split up and they're going in different directions now. So that's really the only difference. And if your workspace is like mine, all it did was calculate the landing time anyway. You pick which flight you wanted manually, then really the workspace is going to be no different whatsoever. Let me show you what I mean. This is the workspace I had for round 1, and this is the one for round 2. Now it does look a little bit more, and this set of transformers in here are additions, and the reason I had to add those is because India, we got a flight going to India now, and India seems to be on a half-hour time difference rather than a whole hour time zone. And that never really occurred to me before, that places could have fractional time differences, even though Newfoundland in Canada, I think, has got that. So, yeah, that's what I had to add in there for this, just to make sure I got that right. And then this last little bit at the end, that's just clearing it up for viewing, so you can see the results a bit easier in here. So let me sort by the landing time. So yeah, so what we've got is we've got the origin, takeoff for Sao Paulo, flight to Montreal on this flight. There's the local takeoff time, there's the duration, that's the local origin landing time. So the time the flight lands in Montreal, or the time it is in Sao Paulo when the flight lands in Montreal. And this is the one with the offset applied, so it's the landing time actually in Montreal. So what we're looking for this time is a time that's on Monday close to 9 a.m. for the FME Lizard. So let's look at that one first. The two at the bottom, Santiago to Sydney, and then Madrid to Bengaluru, which obviously went through from Sao Paulo, Madrid, Bengaluru. So those two flights don't get in until Tuesday, so it doesn't really matter. Even though it comes in at 8:50, it's 8:50 on Tuesday, not Monday, so that doesn't help. We've got 3 flights here. Sao Paulo to Santiago, that arrives the same day. They all arrive on the day, so they're not going to be the right answer either. Santiago to Vancouver arrives like at 11 at night, but it's still the same day, and the Santiago to Phoenix gets in the afternoon, which looks good, but again, it's a Sunday. We don't do that. We wanted the Monday. So let's see what we've got. Well, we want one close to 9 o'clock. We've got one that arrives in Dubai at 8:05. Which is fine, but not that close to 9. 8:15. Well, actually, let's start here. Madrid to Warsaw arrives 8:55. Fantastic. That's got to be the one. That's the closest, right? Well, I don't think so, because just as yesterday, the Madrid to Warsaw flight leaves at 05:40, and the flight for Sao Paulo to Madrid doesn't get in until 05:45. So 5 minutes earlier, it'd be great, but it's not. It's 5 minutes too late, so you can't get to Warsaw because you would miss the connection. Sao Paulo to Paris, 8:45. Well, that's the next best, but no available seats on there, I'm afraid. So what does that leave us, really? Well, Dubai, Paris and Brussels. Well, the closest one is Brussels. There's only one seat available, but that's okay because we've only got one person on it this time. We've only got the Lizard. So I think the answer, well, I know the answer is we go to Brussels, and that's where the Lizard goes to. Goes to Brussels on flight LZD 613 and arrives at 8:17 on Monday the 12th of June. So that's the Lizard flight. Let's look at the Zipster. The Zipster can meet any time from 12 midday till 4 in the afternoon, but we want to be as close to 3 o'clock as possible. So we have just 2 options. This is why this one should be fairly straightforward. Santiago to Auckland and Madrid to Dubai. Madrid to Dubai just arrives outside the 4 o'clock in the afternoon time limit. It arrives at 5 minutes past 4. But Santiago to Auckland, so we go Sao Paulo, Santiago, Santiago to Auckland, and that arrives on there at 15:45 in the afternoon, and that's perfect for the Lizard. I mean, it's a little bit past the 3 o'clock, but that's okay. We've got between 12 and 4 o'clock. So the second answer is Santiago to Auckland, flight FME 088, arriving 12th of June at 15:45. And that's the flight that the Zipster will be on. So the Zipster is flying in to see, what partner have we got in? I'm just going to turn on the destination partner so we can see that. So in Santiago, they will be visiting Locus, and in Brussels, they will be visiting Nordend, which I'm not sure they're completely in Brussels, but Brussels is the closest large airport. So those are the two partners that they'll be visiting. Okay, so that was the practical part of this. Let's look at the quiz questions. So we are looking for quiz questions about Sao Paulo. And boy, you were good at these. Like, seriously, like there was some very high scores in here, better than Vancouver. I think maybe for Vancouver you thought, oh, I know Vancouver, I can just check this box. But for Sao Paulo, you really had to look it up, and that helped, I think. That's my theory, anyway. Okay, so questions about Sao Paulo. Motor racing is a hugely popular sport in Sao Paulo. The racing course is called Interlagos, after the region. Why is it called that? It lies between two lakes, and it literally means between lakes. One of the best Formula One racing courses on the circuit, in my opinion. So, and yeah, that's what it means. One area of Sao Paulo has a high concentration of street art. What is it called? Well, these are all different names of superheroes. Rua do Hulk, Estrada do Groot, Camino do Medico Octopus. I think that means Boulevard of Dr. Octopus. But the actual one that it is Beco do Batman, which I think means the Avenue of Batman, because it's an area of street art, and one of the street art happens to be of Batman. So that's what that's about. So you're learning things doing this. This is good. I mean, you're learning as well as earning points towards possible prizes. So it's got to be good. Which of these is not a major football, i.e. soccer team based in Sao Paulo? Corinthians, Palmeiras, Sao Paulo, or Cruzeiro? The answer, I believe, is Cruzeiro. This was the most difficult question. I don't know why, but yeah, Cruzeiro, I think, are in Rio. I could be wrong, but I think that's where they're from. So that's the answer there. The Sala Sao Paulo is a stunning symphony hall with amazing acoustics. What did the hall used to be? This was fun making up some answers here that weren't true, like the anatomy lab of the university. But in fact, it used to be part of the railway station, and it used to be part of the railway station that's a garden. So yeah, it was fun looking up some of these things and seeing what it's about. The city of Sao Paulo has the motto, non ducor duco. What does it mean? Well, it doesn't mean don't pass the ball to him, pass it to me, although it could do. It means I am not led, I lead. So there you go. I guess that compares to the Vancouver one yesterday, by sea, land and air we prosper. Yeah, I guess everywhere's got their own different take on their motto. Capoeira, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, is a form of intangible cultural heritage, but what is it a combination of? And the description I've seen is martial arts and dance. And, oh yeah, this one's probably my favorite question. If a Brazilian says you are boca de siri, what does that mean that you have? Do you have the leg of a horse, run fast, the mouth of a crab, you can keep a secret, the feathers of a parrot, you are very beautiful, or the power of Siri, i.e. you know everything? And the answer is the mouth of a crab. You can keep a secret if you have boca de siri. So there you go. And Sao Paulo is the home of Sua Vida Me Pertence, Your Life Belongs to Me, which is the first instance of what? Is it a Pulp Fiction novel, a boy band, a newspaper novel, or a telenovela TV show? And it's a telenovela. So you may be familiar with that. Anyway, that term. So yeah, those are the answers. I hope you're enjoying this. Go and have a look at round 3. Round 3 for the puzzle part is a little bit different. It's got an extra data set we're throwing in there just to try and throw you up. It's not really too difficult at all. It's just adding in a bit of extra data. And of course, since we're in Sao Paulo now and we've flown on to Brussels and to Auckland, there will be 4 questions in the quiz each on Auckland and Sao Paulo. So, not Sao Paulo, Brussels. So Brussels and Auckland, those are the places you need to brush up about and check for in the quiz. So yeah, keep on entering the contest. It's fantastic to see so many people entering. I should mention perhaps that how many entries we've got. So far we have 89 entries to the 89 people have entered into the puzzle part. The top score so far is 9, which is incredible. So that's 9 out of 9 basically. Only one person has got that right, got that score. A lot of people have got 6 out of 9, so they've got maybe 3 on the first day and 3 on the second, or none on the first day and 6 on the second. Somebody unfortunately got 3 right on the first day and then completely blew it and got 0 on the second one, so I'm hoping they can bounce back. But yeah, and again, each one you get right is like 3 entries into the draw at the end. And the one other thing I can show you, just very last thing, is I added the ability to check your own score. So you can check your score by clicking on that, and you can enter your own email address like so, and run that, and it will tell you what your score is so far. So on day 1 I scored well, not very well, because I picked something completely different just as a test to see if I could get the workspace running, which it did. So my score was 0, that's fine. And we aren't going to reveal the score for round 2 because that round isn't closed yet, but by the time you see this video it will be closed, so you can go check that out and see what your score is. Remember, the top score is 9, second place is a whole bunch of 6s, and yeah, we got quite a few scores: 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then some zeros at the end. But hopefully by the time you see this video, those folk will have taken part in round 2 and scored some extra points there. So yeah, have fun, and I'll see you on Monday. So you've got over the weekend. You've got an extra day to do this one, basically, because it's counts as a long weekend, I guess. So Monday morning, 8 a.m. my time, 6 a.m. Vancouver time is when this puzzle closes, round 3. So I'll see you for another video then. Thanks, folks. Bye.